Right now, as you watch this, your phone is listening. Your smart TV is watching. Your car is tracking every mile you drive. And somewhere, in a server farm you will never see, a digital profile of you exists that knows more about you than your own family. The surveillance state is not coming. It is already here. You weren't warned. You weren't asked. You were simply enrolled. The cameras went up one by one. The algorithms got smarter year by year. The laws were written behind closed doors. Total control, infrastructure built. And now the only question left is, when do they decide to use it all at once? Think about every device you own. Your phone, your laptop, your smart speaker, your fitness tracker. Each one is a data collection point, feeding information about your habits, your location, your conversations, and your preferences into vast databases you never agreed to fill. In 2013, Edward Snowden revealed that the NSA was collecting phone records of millions of Americans, tapping directly into the servers of major tech companies, and intercepting communications on a global scale. Arguing that you don't care about privacy because you have nothing to hide is like arguing you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say. The reaction was outrage, promises of reform, congressional hearings, and then nothing actually changed. The programs were not dismantled. They were renamed, restructured, made legal retroactively. The infrastructure Snowden exposed did not shrink, it expanded. Every major tech company now cooperates with government surveillance programs. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, they all have direct data sharing agreements with intelligence agencies. Your emails, your searches, your private messages, all accessible with a single request, not in some hypothetical future. Right now, today, and that is just the digital layer. The physical surveillance goes even deeper. The most powerful surveillance device ever created is not hidden in some classified government facility. It is in your pocket. You carry it everywhere. You sleep next to it. You tell it your deepest secrets. Your smartphone tracks your location every few seconds. It records which Wi-Fi networks you connect to, which Bluetooth devices are near you, and how long you spend at every single address you visit. We know where you are. We know where you have been. We can more or less know what you are thinking about. That was the former CEO of Google, saying the quiet part out loud. In 2018, the Associated Press confirmed that Google tracks your location even when you explicitly turn location tracking off. Always watching, always tracking. Your phone knows your daily routine better than you do. It knows where you work, where you worship, who you visit, and how long you stay. It knows your medical appointments because it sees you walking into that clinic. It knows your politics because it tracks which events you attend. Everything. And here is what should truly disturb you. Government agencies purchase your location data without any warrant. No judge involved. No legal oversight. They simply buy it from commercial data brokers on the open market. The Fourth Amendment, your constitutional shield against unreasonable search, completely bypassed by a credit card transaction. And the surveillance does not stop at your phone. Step outside your door, and you enter a world watched by over 1 billion cameras. London alone has more than 940,000 CCTV cameras, roughly one for every 9 residents. But cameras alone were just the beginning. Facial recognition technology has turned every single one of those lenses into an identification system. The system of surveillance they have built is more extensive than anything George Orwell ever imagined. China's Skynet system can identify any of its 4 billion citizens within 3 seconds. And before you dismiss this as a faraway problem, Clearview AI, an American company, scraped over 3 billion photos from social media to build a facial recognition database now used by law enforcement across the United States. Stolen. They did not ask your permission. They just took your face. If these revelations are opening your eyes, hit like and subscribe to keep exposing what they hide. Because what comes next connects all the dots. Your face, their database. You can leave your phone at home. You can pay with cash. You can go completely off the grid. But you cannot leave your face behind. And every time you walk past one of those cameras, you are being cataloged, identified, filed away. But what happens when all this collected data gets turned into a score? In China, the social credit system rates citizens on their behavior. Cross the street illegally, your score drops. Criticize the government online, your score drops. Associate with low-scoring individuals, your score drops. Fall low enough, and you cannot board a plane, cannot ride a train, cannot secure a loan. Your entire life, reduced to a single number controlled by the state. Now here is what nobody in the West wants to admit. The exact same system already exists here. It is just not called social credit. Your credit score determines where you can live and at what interest rate. Your insurance risk score determines your premiums based on predicted behavior. Your social media activity determines your employability. HR departments routinely screen candidates online. Companies like Palantir aggregate thousands of data points about you to predict what you will do before you even do it. The algorithm already knows what you will do next. The difference between China and the West is not that one has social scoring and the other does not. The difference is that China is honest about it. In China, you know the rules of the game. In the West, the scoring happens invisibly across dozens of private companies with zero transparency, zero accountability, and zero appeal process. And there is an entire industry profiting from keeping it exactly that way. There is a multi-billion-dollar industry you have probably never heard of. Data brokers, companies whose entire business model revolves around collecting, packaging, and selling your personal information to the highest bidder, buying, selling your life. Companies like Axiom, LexisNexis, and Oracle Data Cloud maintain profiles on virtually every American adult. They know your income bracket, your religious affiliation, your health conditions, your political leanings, your shopping habits, and your relationship status. They know if you are expecting a child before you have told your own family. They know your struggles before you have admitted them to yourself. In 2023, it was revealed that the U.S. intelligence community was routinely purchasing commercially available data that would otherwise require a court-ordered warrant to obtain. We have built the largest surveillance infrastructure in the history of humanity, and we did it voluntarily. The Fourth Amendment was designed to protect you from unreasonable government searches, but they found the loophole. If you voluntarily share data with a company and that company sells it, no warrant is needed. Loophole. You agreed to the terms of service. You clicked accept without reading a single word. And in doing so, you unknowingly waived protections that took centuries of human struggle to establish. Every app you download, every service you register for, it all feeds the machine. But the financial system takes this surveillance to an entirely different level. Follow the money, that has always been the rule. And now they can follow every single penny you spend. The push toward a cashless society is not about your convenience. As the Rothschild banking dynasty understood centuries ago, give me control of a nation's money supply, and I care not who makes its laws. It is about control. When they can see every transaction, they can control every transaction. In 2022, Canada froze the bank accounts of citizens who donated to a peaceful protest movement. No criminal charges filed, no trial held. Just frozen assets based on political participation in a Western democracy. A government weaponized the banking system against its own citizens for the crime of political donation. Your money is only yours until they decide it is not. Central bank digital currencies, CBDC, take this architecture even further. Unlike cash, digital currency can be programmed. Governments could restrict what you buy, where you buy it, and when. They could set expiration dates on your money, forcing you to spend before a deadline. They could cut you off entirely with a single keystroke. Programmable money total control. Cash is anonymous. Cash is freedom. And that is precisely why they want to eliminate it. The war on cash is a war on your financial privacy. But even your money is just one piece of a much larger legal framework designed to make all of this not just possible, but permanent. Every surveillance system needs legal cover, and governments have been quietly building that framework for decades. The Patriot Act, passed in the collective panic following September 11th, handed intelligence agencies sweeping powers to monitor communications without traditional judicial warrants. 1. Section 215 allows bulk collection of phone records. 2. National security letters bypass judicial review entirely. 3. FISA courts operate in complete secrecy. 4. Executive Order 12,333 enables foreign surveillance of Americans. And here is the pattern that should terrify you. Every crisis, every terrorist attack, every national emergency becomes the justification to expand these powers. And they never, ever shrink back. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. The Earn IT Act threatens end-to-end encryption. The Restrict Act could effectively criminalize VPN usage. The UK Online Safety Bill requires platforms to scan your private messages before you even send them. Each new law removes another layer of your digital privacy. And the courts that are supposed to protect you, the FISA court approved 97% of all government surveillance requests between 1979 and 2019. Rubber stamp justice. That is not judicial oversight. That is a rubber stamp with a judge's signature. The legal infrastructure for total surveillance is not being debated anymore. It is already law, and the technology to enforce it now extends right into your home. Your home was once your sanctuary, the one place where you could close the door and be truly, completely private. That era is ending. Smart speakers are always listening for their wake words, but multiple investigations have confirmed they capture far more than that. Amazon employees were caught reviewing private Alexa conversations in detail. Your smart TV tracks everything you watch and sells that viewing data to advertisers. Your robot vacuum maps the exact layout of your home and shares those blueprints with third-party companies. Your own home has become an intelligence gathering station. Smart cities push this even further beyond your walls. Sensors embedded in streetlights measure pedestrian traffic patterns. Smart meters track your energy consumption, revealing when you are home, when you are asleep, when you shower, when you cook. Connected vehicles report your speed, your routes, your destinations, and your driving behavior to manufacturers. The Internet of Things is really the Internet of Surveillance. In 2021, researchers calculated that a single smart home generates approximately 1.5 billion data points every year. That is not a smart home. That is a surveillance platform you are paying a mortgage on. Your home, their eyes. Every device you invite into your life is another sensor feeding the system. And when the watchers themselves go completely unchecked, that is when it becomes truly dangerous. Quis custodiet ipsos custodes? Who watches the watchman? The ancient Romans asked this question 2,000 years ago, and we still have no satisfactory answer. Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Consider what happened to every single person who tried to expose the surveillance state. Edward Snowden lives in permanent exile. Chelsea Manning was imprisoned and subjected to solitary confinement. Thomas Drake was criminally prosecuted. William Binney was raided at gunpoint by the FBI in his own home. Reality Winner served years behind bars. Silenced, the message from the establishment is unmistakable. Expose the system, and the system will destroy you. Congressional oversight committees receive classified briefings they are legally forbidden from sharing with the public they represent. Intelligence agency inspectors general report directly to the very agencies they are supposed to oversee independently. No real oversight exists. And the corporate players. Facebook was fined $5 billion for privacy violations in 2019. Sounds enormous until you realize that was approximately 1 month of revenue. A speeding ticket for a billionaire. The penalties for surveillance abuse are designed to look like accountability without being accountability. There is no meaningful check on this system, no real consequence for abuse, no off switch anyone can reach. And when you finally step back and see all of these pieces assembled together, the picture that emerges is more disturbing than any single fact I have shared. Now step back and look at everything we have uncovered. Your phone tracks your location every second of every day. Cameras identify your face everywhere you walk. Your financial transactions are monitored in real time and can be frozen without warning. Data brokers sell your most intimate personal details to anyone willing to pay. Your own home devices record your private life and transmit it to corporate servers. The legal framework enabling all of this is already signed into law. And every single person who tried to blow the whistle was systematically destroyed. Total control. This is not a conspiracy theory. These are not predictions about some distant dystopian future. Every single element I have described is documented, operational, and actively expanding right now. Every piece of the surveillance state is already in place and functioning. The surveillance state is not some dystopian novel waiting to be written. It is a fully operational infrastructure that already exists, assembled piece by piece over the last 2 decades, funded by your tax dollars, and enabled by your daily choices. The cage is complete. They just have not locked the door yet. The question is no longer whether the surveillance state is coming. That debate ended years ago. The only question left is what happens when someone decides to use all of this power at once. And if history has taught us anything, that day always comes. Every empire, every authoritarian regime, every system of total control followed the exact same pattern. First, build the infrastructure. Then, wait for the right crisis. Then, activate everything at once. Build, wait, activate. The infrastructure is built. The tools are tested and refined. The legal framework is signed and sealed. The only thing standing between surveillance capability and full surveillance state is the decision to flip the switch. And that decision rests in the hands of people you did not elect, working inside agencies you cannot oversee, shielded by laws you were never allowed to read. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Knowledge is your first and most powerful line of defense. Share this information with people you care about. Question every convenience that demands your data in return. Demand radical transparency from your institutions. Protect your privacy as fiercely as you would protect any other fundamental right, because that is exactly what it is. If you made it this far, comment digital cage if you will never look at your devices the same way again. Every government lies. The question is, what are they lying about?